Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2022 BMW 230i Coupe with the M Sport package and the Dynamic Handling package. This vehicle is sitting on a set of Pirelli tires with 225/40 tires in the front, 255/35 tires in the back. Now these are wrapped around 19-inch alloy wheels with a matte black finish. It also has a high-performance, oversized braking system, disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Melbourne Red Metallic, and it's a very sporty, racy looking red, especially when you see it with all this gloss black and different gloss trimmings the vehicle has. So here in the front, it actually has these active grille shutters, which will close when the vehicle's off. So they kind of like close up and kind of give it just a better look, I guess, when it's parked. And those are surrounded by chrome accents. There's the BMW badge there in the front. So you can see it has these daytime running lights, these LEDs that are looking pretty nice. And the headlights are a active bending LED in projector housing. Now there's some wheel well ventilation right in here. And then there's more ventilation down in here. And this is all like a gloss black down in here. Continues there as well. Now I have a full night video showing you what the vehicle looks like on the road, going down the road, the headlights and all that stuff, and the interior lights, the mood lighting and all that stuff. So you can check it out. It's on my channel at night, the BMW 230i. So looking at the profile here, it has this relatively long front end here, and basically all body colored. The handle's body colored, the upper portion of the side mirror is body colored, but you have this section right in here. It's kind of like a grayish color, and everything else is a gloss black, these other portions. The fuel door is here on the passenger side, and basically it has a traditional cap, a little tether right here, and a little place to hang the cap while you're pumping gas. This is what the key looks like, and has a little BMW emblem on there on the lock button. So it's the lock, unlock, the ability to release the trunk, and a panic button. So this is a full proximity key, and it's designed to where you can just keep it in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. Now you notice the shape of it. It seems like some keys, Acura kind of looks like this, Volkswagen starting to look like this, Toyota Supra key looks like this. So I wonder who's copying who, but anyways, this is what the key looks like, and it's relatively smooth on the outside. It does have some weight to it, but it's not too bad carrying it around with you. It does have a physical key in the inside as well, but as long as you have the key with you, you can lock and unlock it and all that stuff simply by right here. First of all, it has a feature that locks and unlocks that you turn on. That you just walk up to the vehicle, unlocks, and when you leave, it locks automatically, which is great. I think that's the best feature that all vehicles should have. But it does have a little sensor right here to lock the vehicle, and to unlock it has a sensor on here. So it's relatively simple. And then it has a, right under here is the physical key location, just under there in case you need to use it. Here's the inside of the passenger side door. Now this upper portion right here is technically soft touch, but it's not super soft, but it is pretty nice looking. It has these little dimples right in here. It's kind of hard to tell they're there, like little triangles. And then it has this concave portion right here, and it has like these lights in here to let you know when the door's open. It has like these red lights in there. You can really only see them at nighttime. And then there's some accent lighting in here, which can't see anything during the day. You got to check out my night video. So it basically has this flat surface right here, and then this handle. This is technically, once again, soft touch, not super soft, but it does have a soft surface. And there's some stitching there. So it's a mostly black door except for that kind of beige color insert. And then there's pockets here at the bottom. This is all hard touch surfaces down here. It does have the upgraded Harman Kardon sound system, which is an upgrade. There's the M logo there and the sill plate. Pretty big doors, and the doors are relatively long. So this is a two-door. There's lots of room getting in and out of the vehicle. It is kind of on the low side as far as, low to the ground, but other than that, it's easy to get in and out of it. So here's the seats, and the seats are pretty comfortable. It does have some pretty significant bolsters there, but not too intrusive on on my body. It's not like the Recaro seat. Some of those are really, really squeezing me, but these are fine. So it does have a power seat, so pretty basic functionality here. It does have the ability to go up and down, tilt the back, and it also has this thigh extension manual. You can kind of pull that out. Plenty of leg room here in the front, unlike the back. All black carpeting. Now it does have this little section right here, this hard touch. All this area right here is hard touch, right where you put your leg. This is kind of softer touch right here. It has a locking glove compartment, felt lined, not too huge, but it has some capability there. You have some gloss black, and then the dashboard is a once again kind of like a rubbery type soft non-reflective surface. So getting into the second row here, there is a handle right back here. This is the easiest way to do it. Just kind of grab that like so and move it forward, and then the seat will just kind of go forward automatically. So this is good, so it maintains your seat position, because when you put the seat back, it'll go back where it was. So this back seat is not for like large adults, but it is here, you know, you like kids or small adults or whatever can fit back here. It has an armrest with cup holders. Also, the center portion folds down separately from the seats, which is nice. You can also fold this up, so you can lift that up, close that up. There's cup holders there. You can lift that up there. You have a little center portion. There's no seat in the center, but it does have pretty significant bolsters here on the seats. But you can see the leg room is not much at all. It does have climate control back there, as well as USB charge ports. Now these seats do fold down to add to your cargo space. So this is a really nice, because the trunk space is not huge, so this makes it huge. So now when we move the seat back where it was like that, now the bottom portion will simply just go back to its original position. So that way you don't have to readjust the seat. So taking a look at the back of the vehicle, the very center right here is a body colored shark fin antenna. There's a third brake light at the top of the glass there. There's a really tiny deck lid spoiler on the back of the trunk, and the trunk kind of swoops up as well. And you have the 230i badging, the BMW badge. The backup camera for some reason is like way over here, kind of tacked on looking in an odd spot, but that's the way they put it. The taillights are LED, and their turn signals are red. They look a little orangey on camera, but they are red. All LEDs. Parking sensors across the back. So right here in the body color portions, a parking sensor, and then you have one all the way over here as well. And then this is a reflector right in there. That's not a light. Now it has a very visible exhaust back here, chrome tips, and then a gray, kind of like intended to look similar to like diffusers back here, just for looks. So when you release the trunk with the key, or if you push this button under here, basically just releases it like that. It's not going to lift up or anything like that. It just kind of stays right there. You do have to manually lift it up. There's some carpeted material there on the underside. Here's the trunk area, and it has a tire inflator kit because there's no spare tire. There's some tie downs there, and then there's a little net pocket area there to the right, which you can move this down if you don't want to use it. You just kind of move this part down like so and get it out of the way without losing the little net right there. There's a 12-volt power supply here as well. So this area, you can fold down the seats using these levers right here and right there. Once you release them, you can fold them down. But you'll notice that most of the area is carpeted except for under here. And I was kind of surprised, since this is BMW is considered a luxury brand, and this is very surprising that it has this exposed metal under here. So the reason why this might be an issue is if you're loading up your luggage or whatever, there's a lot of sharp metal and just exposed metal and stuff, wires and cables and stuff, and you could potentially damage your luggage if you're, you know, stacking it up here, and then you're driving down the road hitting bumps and stuff and it's sliding around that against that metal. So I was kind of surprised that area was not carpeted, because there's vehicles like half the price of this one that are carpeted, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Now it does have these shocks right here, these gas pistons to hold the trunk open, and this is nice because it doesn't have any kind of like springs or arms that extend down into the trunk, which is nice. So you don't have any, you know, like putting stuff in here and then these arms, you know, taking up some of the space in the trunk area. Now these seats are it's basically a 40-40-20 fold down, but at first you can fold it down 60-40, however you need to do it to maintain passenger space, add to your cargo space, or you can just fold it all down and have a wide open spot. It's a really open space. Once you fold them all down, it's amazing how much room you have back here. As long as you have the key with you to start it up, you just hold the brake and push that button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now these floor mats have Velcro underneath them, so they don't slide around. You don't see any like snaps or anything like that holding it, or hooks, but it does have Velcro keeping it in place. And then there's raised rubber aluminum pedals, looking nice and sporty. The accelerator, brake pedal, and big footrest there on the left side. Feel pretty comfortable. Now let's take a look under the hood. And how you do that is you pull this lever, not just once, but you pull it twice. So now the hood is ready to lift up. And once you pull that lever twice, the hood is completely ready to go. So you lift it up. It actually has two places where it connects. So right there and right there. So when you're lowering, you want to make sure both of them are connected. Okay, so you notice there's no insulation on the underside of the hood, but there is some seals around the outside of the engine compartment. Not completely sealed up, but mostly. And then the engine's covered up with this like plastic cover, and it has like this foam type material underneath it. So it has quite a bit of shielding there on the sides, and on the firewalls insulated, because this is a turbocharged engine and those turbos get quite hot. So this is a 2.0 liter. Now they're calling it a twin power turbo. So it's a turbocharged engine, and it is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And this is a direct injection 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine. And the thing about this car is it does not feel like a 4-cylinder engine. It feels way more powerful than a 4-cylinder. Really impressive driving experience. And that's the main quality this vehicle has, is just the impressive driving experience, the acceleration, the braking, the handling, the cornering, all that stuff. It's just an impressive performance for a vehicle this size, this weight, and the amount of cylinders that you have. Really impressed with the transmission as well. The side mirrors have these little triangles in them, and that's where the blind spot detection system and rear cross traffic alert indicator is located. The inside of the driver's side door, just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. It does have 2 presets for the power seat. There's the door locks, and then you have the power windows here, 1 touch up and down, and then the side mirrors are adjusted there. You can even power fold them as well with that button. There's the ability to release the trunk, and then you have the pockets at the bottom. I see a little tiny bit of a reflection off that bottle of the ambient light, but once again, you can't see it during the day. You gotta check out the night video. Basically the same controls here for the driver's as the passenger seat, as far as the power portion, and then the manual thigh extension there as well. And these are pretty dang comfortable seats. They are, like I said, kind of low. If you're not used to a vehicle this low to the ground, it takes a little bit of getting used to, because you can see the seat relative to the ground. It's like, it feels like sitting on the ground if you're not used to it. But that's how you get that low center of gravity and the cornering, handling, and all that stuff. Okay, so to the left of the steering column here, there is a little glove compartment. It's felt lined, and it's right there. It's pretty nice. It goes way in there. See, there's a felt lining right there, and then this goes way back in there. So you can put your sunglasses or whatever you want in this compartment. and it snaps closed. And then your headlight controls are here. Automatic is the most easy one. We can turn on your headlights there. You can turn them off. Parking lights are controlled here, and then you can turn on a parking light, individual parking lights for the left and right here. And then there's a dimmer switch for the interior gauges there, and that controls more than just the gauges. You'll see in the night video. And then it has a tilt and a telescoping steering column that you lock in place right there. It's kind of a little bit hidden, but you can get to it easy. I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and I have the driver's seat all the way back, all the way down to show you what the potential legroom is. And it's crazy. I'm 6 feet tall, and I can't even touch the pedals with my legs straight out. Now there's like literally zero room behind me, but the potential for driver legroom is phenomenal. So if you're over 6 feet tall, no problem finding enough room for your legs, is what it seems like. Okay, so the steering wheel, leather wrapped, and it feels really nice. It's soft to the touch. It feels like a nice leather jacket is what it feels like. It's really impressive feeling. And then it has the BMW emblem there. Also a heated steering wheel as well, and there's a little button there. It has the M logo. Okay, so here on the left side, the buttons, there's also paddle shifters as well. You can see them sticking up here. So you can shift through the 8-gear ratios and have like this little pad on the back. It's like a cloth material or something. Maybe leather, I'm not sure. But then the cruise controls here on the left side. So you can set, resume, cancel. You turn it on here. And then you can go manually, just go up and down on the speed with this little toggle switch here. And then this is a speed limit. So you can set the speed limit that you want the vehicle to remind you not to go over. It'll let you go over it, but it'll just kind of like have like this warning up there. Here on the right side is the volume for the radio. Change through the tracks on the radio or radio station depending on what you're doing. It also has this button right here that can pull up different lists and different options depending on where you're at. When you just press it right now, nothing happens, so it depends on what screen you're in and what you're doing, and you can make selections here with the scroll wheel up and down and then push in to select. This is the voice recognition, and this is the answer or hang up on Bluetooth calls. Windshield wiper controls are here on the right side. It does have an automatic function, so it has the rain sensing wipers. And when you put it in automatic mode, it'll give you this like little green light, let you know that it's activated. Here on the left side, it's your turn signal, but it also has a few buttons here. So it's the headlight dimmer switch as well. But this button right here on the end is for your automatic high beam, so you can quickly turn it off. So this is nice in case the headlights are blinding somebody or flashing or whatever. And then this BC, I'm not sure exactly what BC stands for, but it gives you additional options here on the screen, and we'll get to that in just a second as well. Okay, so right here, that's a full digital screen. So you can see that the fuel gauge is over here, engine coolant temperatures over here. Right in the very center though is a map. So we're off the map. So right now, so you can see the little icon showing you that that's where I am. And of course all the roads are not showing up here, but right in there as you're driving, you can see a map and you can see where you're at. Now if you have a destination set or whatever, it's going to give you more information, but just driving around you can kind of see where you're at in relationship to other roads and if there's a curve ahead, that kind of thing. Okay, so the RPMs are here on the left side, speedometers there on the right, but you also have a digital speedometer as well, what gear you're in. But if we push this button, this BC button on the end of the turn signal, it's kind of an odd spot and it has a not sure what that BC stands for. If you know what BC stands for, let me know. So if you press that, it kind of cycles through and gives you additional information here on the right side. So that's the battery voltage, and then it has a trip, and then you have the foot-pounds and horsepower, little bars right there, digitally represented. Also a G-force sensor, which is pretty cool. The next one is what's connected to your radio. There's nothing going on with the radio right now, so it just shows that. And then it goes back to the park, and it shows you what drive mode you're in, so comfort. And you'll notice it shows where I'm at. You know, it says Ocean Isle Beach, and it shows a little thing right there. So that's part of the map thing. It does have a clock, distance to empty, outside temperature, additional information around the edge. Now these gauges kind of change a little bit depending on your drive mode too. So when I put it in sport mode, it kind of looks a little bit different. There's comfort, and then there's eco. So you have an eco indicator there. So depending on what you're doing, since it's a full digital screen, it can change it slightly. It can change it however it wants. It's just a screen, but it's pretty cool. Okay, so here's the touch screen over here, and it has the ability to use the touch screen and touch it and make selections, like so. But you can also use this dial, and then there's physical buttons around it as well. So this is what's referred to as the home screen. That's basically a split between the navigation, the radio, and communication. So right now I don't have the device connected, but it'll show the phone there. So you have these icons here on the left side. So media, you have different sources here. You have lots of them: satellite radio, AM, FM. There's a news, Spotify, Bluetooth audio, and then you can screen mirror with certain devices as well, and then you can set up different mobile devices. The navigation menu here, here's the map. It has like this little sky right here, which looks kind of cool, but then it kind of limits your distance that you can see on the map. But you can see it expands out nicely and it looks good. You can kind of move it around, you can pinch zoom and all that stuff. And then you can get more information there. You can put it back to a split screen if you want. And then once you pair your device, you have access to your recent calls, your phone book, and all that. And send and receive calls, all that stuff will be available. Now it has these different apps here. Installed apps. It does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wirelessly. But here is different apps. They're intended to kind of make these kind of look like cell phone apps, I guess, with the icons and all that stuff. So you have personal assistants. It's just pretty cool. You can sit there and talk to it and stuff. Have it tell you jokes if you have time for that. You can check the weather. You can go into climate control. Let's go ahead and go into climate control so you can see what's going on. There's the different options here. Alright, and there's Amazon Alexa. You can read the news if you want. Now this home screen extends to 3 different places, so you can get more information. So you can kind of quickly scroll to the left and right. So there's 3 options there. This will be the home, and then you can scroll to the right, and it's technically part of the home screen here. But so you have information about the vehicle, local traffic information. There's your digital compass. Having this clock and a date is really nice. Then it shows the weather and news kind of just right there, sort of like widgets, like on a cell phone. And you can change them if you want, right there. So I'm editing page 1 there if I wanted to. Has a tiny little digital clock there in the corner, which is always there, which is nice. So information about the car, vehicle status. You can get information about that. Let's go back there because you got the car settings that you can go into, driver profiles that you can go into here. There's owner's manual. Now it has a picture search or a keyword search. Picture search is really handy. So you can quickly go to different ones based on the location of the actual item that you're looking for. So the interior, and you can choose a location here. We'll choose that one, and then we'll go to that 7 right there, and then we'll go down there, the heated steering wheel. So you can kind of quickly go in and find information about the vehicle right here on the screen. And also having that ability to search as well is nice. But yeah, there's a kind of a quick rundown of the screen. It's relatively simple, but it does have a lot of functionality, a lot of features that you can go into. It visually looks good. The camera system looks good. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse while we're looking at the screen here. Now it has the camera system there on the left. It's a little bit small. It's not necessarily taking up the screen big enough in my opinion, but it's there. But it does have this really excellent parking sensor system that gives you like little lines and stuff. It lets you know precisely how far you are away from objects. You know, it's not like guessing so much as actually give you a beat, but also a visual reference there as well. So that's really good. Okay, so the climate control information is here. So there you can see the vents right in the middle of that. There's the four-way flashers, and then this is for the safety features, which you can turn all on. You can change features on or off. This will be your forward collision mitigation, lane departure warning, blind spot detection, that kind of stuff that you can quickly go to by pushing that button. So the temperature for the driver and passengers here, so you can have them sync together or separate like they are now. The fan speed's in the middle, so they're right there. You can adjust the fan speed. Temperature there, where you want the air to blow. And then you have automatic function, front and rear defrosters, heated seat for the driver, heated seat for the passenger. It also has a menu for the air conditioning right here. So you can hit that and you can pull up and you can synchronize the climate control. Let's go ahead and turn it back on. There we go. So we can synchronize that. Heated ventilation. So now both of them are 70 degrees. And when I adjust the driver, the passenger will also be adjusted. And this will also go back to the rear passengers as well. So it has a separate, some functionality there in the back, as well as separate here. Even though it's a small vehicle, it has all this, you can like fine tune, I guess, your local zone right where you are at for your climate control, which is interesting. Okay, so below there is the volume for the radio, and then mode and band. So mode will be your different audio source, band would be like AM FM type thing, satellite radio. And then the little tiny volume knob, you can turn it off with the button in the middle, and then here's for your presets for the radio, and then change to the tracks right here. This lifts up and you have cup holders, a 12-volt power supply, and a wireless cell phone charger right here. You can see a little bit of ambient light in there as well. And there's the little dial that you can move around on the screen. Instead of using touchscreen, you can use this dial. You can go up and down and turn the dial, make selections here as well. There's a back button, options. So it has this like kind of digital shifter. It's like shift by wire. So it's not actually like a physical shifter. So I'm not sure why they have this thing protruding up. It's just this little electric shifter basically. And so when you want to put it in reverse, you press this button here on the side, and you see there's the pattern there. So reverse is all the way forward, and then you pull it back a little bit, it's neutral. Pull it back again is drive. If you want to use it like a ratchet shifter, you can go over here to the left, and you can bump it forward and back. So back will be upshift, forward will be downshift. Similar to the paddle shifters, but a little bit different. You know, like a ratchet shifter. You can always go to the right and put it back in drive. Now to put it in park, there's a button right there, and it goes back in park. It'll let you know that it's in park. So right here is the traction control off. If you need to spin tires, you can push that and turn that feature off. So this is the off button. Same thing with that. That's the idle stop. You can turn that off there. Parking sensors, default is on. You can see the little on light. You can turn it off if you want to. Now it has electronic parking brake, which you lift up to engage, push down to release once you hold the brake, and engages the rear wheels. So the auto hold, you can see that it's on or not. And this will basically, when you come to a complete stop, it'll just hold the brake for you until you push the accelerator. So like if you're sitting in traffic or an extended period of time in a red light or whatever, if you have this on, it'll just hold the brake for you, so you don't have to hold the brake. And then once you push the accelerator, it'll allow you to go. So that's pretty basic feature, just looks a little bit different than other vehicles. Okay, so has like this rubbery soft armrest that extends back here. So you can lift it up, and it's kind of springy, so it doesn't flop back down on you. It actually flops up, gets out of your way, and then you have this compartment here. It does have a little light in it, which is nice, and a USB port here as well. Got my business cards in the way, but you can see it has like this kind of rubbery like floor there at the bottom. Not super rubbery, but it's kind of like plastic, more plastic than rubber. But it's easy to clean. You can wipe it out easier. But yeah, pretty handy. And it has like a little space right here and right here for wires to go in and out of the compartment. So it's not completely flush on the ends. The rearview mirror, it's an auto dim rearview mirror. And kind of automatically dims at nighttime. It's not quite dark enough for it to dim. But also the side mirrors as well is also side auto dimming. So you have these lights up here, and they're pretty interesting. It's like this large looking thing, but it has a small light there. Ambient lights are right here. Gotta check out my night video so you can see what they look like. But these are quite bright. Right now they're not showing that bright, but at nighttime, there we go. When you open the door, you have like this small light here, small light there, and then the grand lights right there, which is kind of neat looking. And then this is for your sunroof in the shade. There's roadside assistance button here. We'll get to the sunroof in just a minute. The visors had like this vinyl wrapping on them. The headliner is actually a cloth, but it looks the same, but it's actually a vinyl wrapping, which is nice. And then it has a small mirror there, a little clip. You put your registration or whatever. There's a little light. And it's relatively soft light, so it doesn't blind you as much. But it's pretty bright. Same thing on the passenger side there. So let's look at the sunroof. So the sunroof actually has a shade that covers, blocks most of the light. It's not 100%. You can see a little bit of light through it during the day, but it does block most of the light. But we'll go ahead and open that back up. Move the glass back, and it extends into the back of the vehicle. Push it again, as far back as it goes. If you push up on the button, it'll tilt it up like so. So looking at the visibility in the back, you can see it has a little bit of a pillar there. The headrest kind of get in the way a little bit. So not bad. I mean, over my shoulder, just looking around, it's not as bad. Like a lot of vehicles are a lot worse than this. This isn't bad at all, actually. So, and of course it has the parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection system, parking camera system, all kinds of stuff to help you out with, driving it safely. But as far as visibility, I hadn't really had an issue with this. The front pillars here aren't that big, and there's plenty of visibility here in the front, there, and in the back. Good enough to where you can see just fine. Nothing that you have to, that's really hard to deal with, like some vehicles. The camera system is pretty decent here. The picture's kind of small, but it's good. But that sensor around the vehicle is really precise and really good. It shows you the distance and just has a high level of precision. Some vehicles, it just kind of like, just tells you left, right, or center. This gives you a really cool visual reference as far as what's around the vehicle, if there is anything. So I'm glad about that, because the camera is okay. I mean, it's not spectacular. And there is an upgraded camera system that you can get. So this one doesn't have the adaptive cruise control. There's a couple options that this vehicle, specific one, doesn't have that you can have, then you can get. Just doesn't have it. Now you notice it has a map here, and then there's another map that looks quite a bit different that's actually between the gauges as well. That is active right now. So you can see the different maps as we're driving. So that's in sport mode, and it tends to hold on to the gear a little bit. And accelerating 0 to 60 in sport mode, once you reach 60, it's basically just getting started, ready to go with this powertrain. So it's kind of like you have to let off of it if you're not, on a track or something, or if the speed limits, unless it's higher speed limit or something. So it feels like this 4-cylinder feels like a really souped up V6 or something like that. It's really impressive. Let me go ahead and take it out and put it in comfort mode. Because even in comfort mode, it has quite a bit of acceleration, and it actually is more enjoyable for me anyway to drive, because it doesn't have that holding on to the gears too high and kind of make you feel like you're the engine braking when you let go of the accelerator, that kind of thing. So this will just be in normal mode. And when you ease off on the accelerator, it just kind of slowly shifts up and you smooth out. So yeah, the comfort mode, to me, it feels just as powerful, but the shifting is a lot more enjoyable and more realistic as far as everyday driving, basically. So for a vehicle this low and this small, this is pretty quiet. Now this is a fairly smooth road that we're on, but as far as just kind of cruising around, this is a relatively quiet vehicle, especially when you turn on the radio. I mean, the radio can drown out any background noise. It actually sounds pretty impressive. It put a grin on my face, the radio did. I turned the volume up quite a bit, and it was crystal clear even at high volumes, and it just feels good. You can hear it. Sounds good, but this one also feels good, if you know what I mean. So yeah, excellent sound system, really well designed. And the steering wheel comfort, the leather on the steering wheel feels like a nice leather jacket or something. And it's comfortable. It's soft. It has like a nice soft give to it. It's a good thickness. One of the best feeling steering wheels, really. And cornering, handling, and real sharp corners and stuff like that, you don't really. It's really good for what the vehicle is. It's really good. These are just kind of like normal roads, so it's not really any hills or anything like that. But it's designed with the suspension, the steering, and everything, and the braking. It tends to. It's designed to be a flat driver when you're going around. Your cornering and stuff. And also usually that means that the suspension is stiff and rough and during normal driving, but this one's not bad. I mean, it's not bad at all. I mean, it's really a pleasure to drive. I mean, my personal issue is that it's kind of low to the ground and it's kind of hard to get in and out. It's a little bit on the small side too, as far as cargo space and just passenger space and stuff. If you have just like one or two people and you're not going to carry that much stuff in the trunk, I would say just really one person, then you're fine. But if you have like two or more people and you have some cargo stuff that you want to put in the back, it's pretty much not going to work. I mean, it's going to be frustrating. It's frustratingly small as far as if you try to use it for that purpose. So yeah, that comfort mode is really good as far as acceleration. There's a few things to get used to as far as like BMW has a couple things that a little bit different from everybody else. But other than that, it's a relatively straightforward vehicle. Rear wheel drive, that's a big difference. That's something that a lot of people are not used to. A lot of vehicles are front wheel drive now, and you get behind the wheel of a 4-cylinder like this, that's powerful, that has some power, and it's rear-wheel drive. It has like a different driving feel. It really is nice. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.